Hi everybody, Melissa here. This show is part of my series where I walk you guys through everything you're going to need to get in order to feel really prepared for having your baby. And at the end of the show, I'm going to put up a graphic so you guys will have a nice little list which will make it easy for you to go to the store and get what you need. So I'm going to start with Bibs. I'm a huge fan of Bibs. I love Bibs, and actually my friends tease me because I have had Bibs on my kids until way too late, and they've told me, you're just totally infantilizing your kids, get rid of the Bibs. I'm just a big fan of Bibs because to me the point of Bibs is that they really cut down on the amount of laundry that you have to do. When it comes to having a new baby, your baby is going to be spitting up and burping a lot. And if you have Bibs, it really cuts down on the amount of times you have to change your baby's outfit, which is really important because you're exhausted and you don't want to be doing laundry all day. So the kind of Bibs I like are just like this one. They are absorbent, they are soft cotton, they have Velcro, and they fit very tightly around the neck. And that's really important because otherwise all the drip is just going to get onto the clothes and it kind of gets rid of the, practicality of having a bib. So anyway, big fan of Bibs. You can get them lower. Don't get the kind that dip down like this so that there's a lot of space between your baby's neck and the beginning of the bib. And I would say that you should get 8 Bibs to be safe. Okay, moving on to bottles. You're going to want to think about bottles a little bit. There's a whole range of bottles now, and they get more and more sophisticated every year. And there are a lot of things on the market now that were not on the market when I had my first baby. And if you take care of them, you can keep them for years. I'm still using bottles that I used when I had my first child in 2004. A very popular bottle is Avent. This is a pretty simple bottle to use. Doesn't have a lot of techno stuff associated with it. So Avent is very popular. Born Free is also a great bottle. I've really liked using this. Some people love Playtex. Again, I have a show about all these bottles, but Playtex has this whole liner system. It's a cheaper bottle. You do have to buy the replacement liners, but it's very popular. And getting into the more specialized bottles for babies with colic, Dr. Brown's is one really good example. These bottles are formulated to make sure that your baby is ingesting less air, so they are very popular. I would get some bottles. I would get 3 if I'm planning on breastfeeding, and if you're planning on bottle feeding, I would get at least 6 because you're going to have a whole cycle of washing these and having them air dry, so you're going to need quite a few. You're also going to need Nipples. You're going to need Nipples for a young baby, age 0 to 1, and you're going to need some Nipples for at least up to age 3 months. And what these basically do, these Nipples, is they control the flow of the milk. So for a younger baby, that baby will be capable of having milk come less rapidly. And as your baby gets older and stronger, they'll be able to suck and drink much more quickly. So that's really what this is about. You might find that your baby becomes frustrated with the 0 or the 1 month nipple very soon and that you want a more rapid flow. So for that reason, good idea to have some 3-month nipples on hand. Okay, so here are these Nipples, pacifiers. My thing with pacifiers is I believe in strategic pacifiers. I don't believe in overdoing the pacifier. I think it is a good thing for your child to learn how to soothe in other ways. My kids are all thumb suckers, though. That does cause problems for teeth. People get scared of pacifiers because they think as soon as they buy them, their kid is going to be using them until they go to college. Well, that's not true. You can just use pacifiers when your baby's extremely fussy, and meanwhile, your baby's not hungry, gassy, or tired, just as a little soothing mechanism to get your baby to go to sleep, and then you can take it out. And you can also use the pacifier when your baby's really hungry and you're not quite in a position to feed them. So for example, if you're on a long car ride or you're walking and you're on your way home, the baby starts to cry because your baby's hungry, you can put the pacifier and it can just get you by. So I believe in that. So I would get a few of these. I would get at least 3. Formula, I think it's a good idea, even if you're planning on breastfeeding, to have at least 1 container of formula on hand. You can buy cow's milk formula. You can buy lactose-free cow's milk formula, or you can buy a soy-based formula. And if you're planning on bottle feeding, I would have a few containers on hand. If you're planning on breastfeeding, I would have at least 1 on hand. I wouldn't overbuy, though, because you don't know exactly what formula your baby might respond to best. So personally, I would just get 1 before the baby comes. So anyway, let me put up a graphic to just sort of spell out all of these things so you guys have a nice list. Okay, so here's your quick summary of what's going to be on your little layette for bottles and feeding. 8 Bibs. I would get 3 bottles if you're planning on nursing and 6 bottles if you think you're going to bottle feed. 3 Nipples if you're planning on nursing and 6 if you think you're going to bottle feed. At least 3 pacifiers, maybe 6. Mine tend to end up under the couch. And I would get at least 1 container of formula. With this list, you should be all set Good luck in the store.